You ever stop and realize how seriously we take this thing called life? We walk around as if we're sitting in the middle of some cosmic exam, one mistake away from failing forever. Every move we make, every word we say, feels like it's being graded by some invisible teacher in the sky. But what if it isn't like that at all? What if this whole setup, the struggles, the dreams, the wins and losses, isn't a test but a game? And like any good game, once you understand the rules, you can start to play it beautifully. Think back to when you were a kid. You used to play all the time. Pretend adventures, imaginary tea parties, epic battles in the backyard. You were a cowboy, a queen, a dragon slayer, and you played with everything you had, but you never forgot it was just play. The moment someone called you for dinner, you dropped the role without a second thought. You didn't cry because your cowboy died or your tea party ended. You knew it was all part of the fun. Then something happened. We grew up, and somewhere along the way, we forgot it was a game. We started taking our roles too seriously. Now we're not just pretending to be bankers, teachers, housewives, or entrepreneurs. We've become method actors in the theater of existence. So lost in the role, we forgot we were ever acting. And that's when the game turns into a prison. See, when I say life is a game, I don't mean it's meaningless. Far from it, games matter. Games are intense, but a true player plays with a light touch, fully immersed, yet never trapped. The first rule of this cosmic game might surprise you. You are not who you think you are. The you that goes by your name, with your stories, your memories, your dreams, and that's not the real you, that's just your character, your role in this incredible play. So who's the real player behind the mask? The one who's watching the thoughts, feeling the emotions, noticing the sensations. That's the real you, the awareness that experiences everything but isn't defined by any of it. You're not the actor. You're the stage where the whole performance unfolds. And when you really see that, the game changes completely. You realize you've been like an actor who forgot the show could end, forgot the costume could come off. You're not trapped in your character. You can play it well, play it beautifully, but you're free to walk off stage whenever you want. Here's another secret rule most people never learn. This game has no finish line, there's no final victory, no ultimate achievement that ends it all. Because the point of the game is the playing itself. We're taught to see life like a race, school, job, marriage, success, retirement, one finish line after another. But life isn't a race, it's more like dancing. You don't dance to get to the last step, you dance because it feels good to move. You don't listen to music to hear the final note. You listen because every note matters. But look around. We're rushing everywhere. Rushing through childhood to reach adulthood. Rushing through work to reach weekends. Rushing through life to reach some future moment where everything will finally make sense. And when we finally stop running, we sit there wondering, where did it all go? The truth is, we missed it. We were so focused on getting somewhere else that we forgot the only place we ever really were, right here, right now. The game of life is always happening now. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Now. This moment. But most of us live like people at a concert reading the program notes, trying to figure out what's next, instead of listening to the music playing right now. And here's the wild part. This whole game is rigged in your favor, because no matter what happens, you can't truly lose. Why? Because you're not just the player. You're the entire game itself. So, what does it really mean to be the game itself? It sounds strange at first. How can you be both the player and the playing field, the actor and the stage? But think of it this way. When you dream at night, you might find yourself running from something terrifying. A shadow, a monster, a storm. In the dream, it feels completely real. Your heart races. Your body tenses. You're certain it could destroy you. But when you wake up, you realize something extraordinary. You were never actually in danger because you were the dream. You were the one running. The monster chasing the sky above and the ground below. The entire dream was happening within you. Life is exactly like that. Every person who frustrates you, every challenge that tests you, every beautiful or painful thing you experience, it's all happening inside your awareness. It's not you versus the world. You are the world, looking back at itself through the eyes of what you call you. And when that realization hits you, not just as an idea, but as a lived experience, it changes everything. You stop taking things so personally. You stop fighting the game and start playing it. When someone criticizes you, you might think, here's the universe showing up as a critic today. Interesting performance. What can I learn from this role? When life throws you a challenge, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, why am I happening to this? What am I trying to teach myself through this experience? Because if you're the whole game, then nothing is truly against you. It's all you, playing different parts to make the story interesting. Now, this doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you become detached or indifferent. In fact, it's the opposite. When you know it's a game, you can finally play it with your whole heart without fear. You can love deeply because you're no longer terrified of losing. You can take risks because failure isn't a death sentence, it's just another level in the game. You can care passionately while still holding everything lightly. That's the secret to masterful play. Intensity without rigidity, engagement without attachment. It's like jazz. You know the rhythm, but you're not bound by it. You're free to improvise, to dance with the moment. And the moment you start flowing like that, life starts playing with you. Most of us live like we're performing a classical piece with a strict conductor standing behind us. Every note must be perfect, every move precise. But life doesn't work that way. Life is jazz. It bends, it surprises, it flows, and the beauty is in the improvisation. Here's one of the most freeing rules of the game. You don't have to be consistent. You're under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. The you've been playing, your personality, your image, your reputation, that's just one outfit. One costume, you can change at any time. But most of us defend our self-image like it's sacred armor. We cling to it, afraid that if we change, we'll lose ourselves. Yet the truth is, you can't lose what you never were. Children know this instinctively. 1 minute they're pirates, the next they're astronauts, then they're dragons. They don't sit there saying, wait, I can't be a dragon. Yesterday I was a pirate. They flow effortlessly from one role to the next, because they remember what we've forgotten. It's all play. So what if you live that way again? What if you stopped being the fixed, predictable character and allowed yourself to be new in every moment, to respond, to create, to change, without apology? When you see others this way too, something incredible happens. You stop judging them because you realize they're just you. Wearing a different mask. That coworker who annoys you, that stranger who smiled at you for no reason, they're all the same awareness, exploring different ways of being, different notes in the same song. And when you see that, compassion rises naturally, not pity, not superiority, but a quiet recognition. We're all in this together. We're all the same consciousness, pretending to be many. Different costumes, one actor, different windows, one light shining through them all. At the deepest level, there's no you and them, just the universe playing all the roles in one grand performance. If life is a game, then this next level is the one that tests every player. The level called suffering, because it's easy to talk about oneness and awareness when things are going well. But when the pain hits, when life breaks your heart, takes what you love, or throws you into darkness, those ideas suddenly feel distant, almost impossible to hold on to. So let's look at this carefully. Let's understand what suffering really is. First, there's pain. The raw physical or emotional sensation. Pain is natural. It's part of the human design. You stub your toe, it hurts. You lose someone you love, your heart aches. That's real. That's part of being alive. But suffering? That's something else entirely. Suffering is the story we tell ourselves about the pain. It's the voice that says, this shouldn't be happening. It's unfair. This means my life is ruined. Pain says, this hurts. Suffering says, this hurts and it shouldn't. That second part, the resistance, the argument with reality, that's where the real torment lives. It's not the rain that hurts us. It's the belief that it was supposed to be sunny. And once you see that difference, something incredible happens. You realize that while you can't always control pain, you can stop creating suffering. You can feel sadness without adding the story that you should be happy. You can experience loss without the extra layer of, my life is over. You can face chaos without the thought, it's not supposed to be this way. It's like watching the weather. Sometimes it rains, Sometimes it shines. The sky doesn't argue with the storm. It simply allows it to pass. And beneath all the clouds, the sky remains untouched. You are that sky. Your thoughts, emotions, fears, and joys are just weather passing through. They're not who you are. They're experiences moving across the vast space of your awareness. Once you understand that, you stop needing to fight every storm. You stop labeling everything as good or bad, right or wrong. You start saying, well, how interesting. And just like that, half the weight disappears, see? We've been trained to be judges instead of witnesses. Always rating, always measuring, always deciding if life is working out the way we think it should. But when you let go of the constant judging, you free yourself to simply be here, experiencing, not grading. The master player learns to hold opinions lightly. They might have preferences, sure, but they don't cling to them. They don't let the absence of their favorite dish ruin the entire meal of existence. Because life will always change the script when you least expect it. The moment you think you've got it all figured out, the game will throw you a curveball. Not to punish you, but to wake you up. Imagine watching a movie where you knew exactly what was going to happen next. Every line, every scene perfectly predictable. How boring would that be? It's the twists, the surprises, the not knowing that makes the story come alive. The same goes for your life. Every setback, every heartbreak, every challenge, it's all part of the plot, keeping the game interesting. When you stop trying to control every detail, when you develop what I call a taste for surprise, you stop being a victim of uncertainty. You start becoming fascinated by it. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, so this is where the story goes next. And then something magical happens. You begin to see that there are no real mistakes, only experiences, only moves in the game. What you call failure is just a strategy that didn't go as planned. What you call success is one that did. But both are part of your learning curve, your evolution as a player. A child learning to walk doesn't sit on the floor and cry, I failed. They just get up, wobble again, and laugh. They don't judge their fall. They use it. But as adults, we've forgotten how to fall gracefully. We treat every stumble like a personal insult from the universe. What if you stopped doing that? What if every fall was just feedback? Every misstep just information? How much lighter would life feel if you stopped turning every mistake into a moral verdict about who you are? Here's the truth. The best players are not the ones who fight the game the hardest. They're the ones who flow with it. They move through life with a kind of effortless ease, not because it's easy, but because they've learned the rhythm. They know when to act and when to wait, when to push, and when to let go. They've discovered what the ancient sages called wu wei, effortless action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right thing at the right moment with no resistance, inside, like water flowing around rocks in a river, soft, flexible, but unstoppable. And maybe that's the real secret of the game. It's not about conquering the obstacles, it's about learning to dance with them. So, what happens when the game ends? When this body grows still, when the screen fades to black and the character you've been playing, the you you've known, disappears? Most people think of that as the end. But what if it's not? You lose someone you love and your heart aches. That's real. That's part of being alive.